What up?
Hello.
Testing 1, 2. Everybody in the building. Only one person.
Get in the building.
Yeah,
Single
we waiting. People need to get in the building. That's what
individual.
that's what we do. 1 second. Let me put. Let me share something right quick. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Go ahead and put that there. Do. Mm-mm. All right. I've shared a couple places.
What you got?
Um. Mm-mm. All right. Shared a couple places. Anyway, how everybody doing? Sunday, March the
It's
14th.
time when ahead is spring, everybody.
Spring in the building. Warm outside. Pollen already acting up and shit.
Beautiful outside, man.
So, yeah, we about to have green cars in a second.
Right.
Crazy. Let me see something. Oh, wrong place. Anyway, hey everybody. Black Male Podcast. If you're just joining us for the first time ever in life, you ain't heard of us. It's the Black Man Podcast.
There you go.
Black Mailed, I'm sorry, podcast.
Black
I'm getting it
Male.
wrong. Like I ain't do this shit for almost a year now. Hope everybody's doing good. Everybody got their stimulus checks and they taxes
Is
and
that real thing? I heard
oh
somebody
yeah.
mentioned they receive a stimulus check.
They getting their stimulus,
Wow.
giving their stimmy checks, they getting their taxes, and they getting their vaccines.
I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna talk about that stimulus a little later, but
Mhm.
that's a catch-22. But let's talk about the fight for black masculinity.
Okay, all right. Well, he says he jumped right into it. Our topic today is women should fight for black masculinity. This is a discussion about um, women and their thoughts on black masculinity and what they say they want from black men. Um, and I think what it is like we have when you ask a woman about black men or black masculinity, you have some that'll answer it in general, well, just black men out there in the world, and you have some that answer it like personal as far as their
What they
relationship
dealt with.
standards, yeah, in their relationships. So I think that's the divide for some women. I be on groups and stuff, and they're talking about shit, and checking out, and I put out questions basically, and how women feel about men, black men actually, and specifically. And I got a wide variety of answers, but
Let's
but
get a couple of examples of what you
okay, let
you
me,
got some examples for us?
yeah, I'm gonna grab you a good one. So okay, so y'all can't see this, but this will go on in one of the groups I'm in.
Okay,
Since it came up right here.
You want to put the name of the
Late,
group up
no,
there?
no, late,
Okay.
late at night.
Okay.
This what they do, man. Live video of crazy shit.
They naked?
Yes, they naked women boxing.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's crazy.
Where can you find that? That would be interesting.
I mean, that's not every night, but yeah, that was last night. It's all kind of ratchet stuff.
I mean, but it was like a crowd. That's a scheduled
Yeah,
event right there. That wasn't.
I don't know. I
spur of the
missed it.
moment.
I don't know where it was at. I
Okay.
have no clue. But
I would be interested in watching something.
it was crazy.
At least for 5 minutes.
So one our guest before, Aisha, if y'all don't remember her. We had a conversation. Her and she was the older woman, and they had a younger woman, light skinned woman on the same thing. I was messing with her about being on OnlyFans page and stuff.
Right.
So what she put was that black men need love. Their perception on modern men, black men, is that they need love. One woman said they're the new bitches.
Okay.
The new bad bitches. I'm sorry. I don't want to misquote anybody.
As bad as in good?
I don't know. I didn't even ask for any. I didn't ask for any kind of
clarification.
Clarification. Yeah.
taking notes.
Yeah, new bad bitches. So we're the new bad bitches. Just want to let you know that. Um, okay. One woman said, black men are severely confused and then try to confuse you, and they consider you having basic standards as being high maintenance. Everyone has to work on themselves, but several expect you to work on yourself while you're doing the personal emotional growth work for them. Generally speaking, most are overall disappointing.
Most black men are disappointed.
Yeah.
Or her. Okay.
Yeah. So hurt, broken, inconsistent, and damaged.
Wow. Okay.
Um, one female said, "Y'all aren't sending out your best people,
Okay.
meaning as representatives." We,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, one said, "Not good," but I'll leave it at that. Her perception isn't good about black men,
Really? Just in general.
in general.
Okay.
Uh, so one said, "I would say many men don't even realize the value of real women. They just want what they want, and to hell with her well being."
See, I would be interested to have a conversation with, and just see what their perspective is of value, or
Hmm.
what they think their value is to a man. So
And maybe we might dive into that. Since you want to ask that, maybe I might ask that question, dive into that.
okay.
Um, so one female said the reality is more important than the perception. Just look at what is promoted. So I'm thinking she said the perception of what's promoted here in society versus what the realistic or
Right.
the
It's
reality is.
completely
Yeah,
different.
it's
Yeah. What
completely different.
the
Yeah.
representation we black men have in I guess you can call it media or society
Hmm.
is a poor example, in my opinion. This is strictly if I don't have any facts to back this up, but it's a poor example of black men, and they take a very small percentage of black men and they present that as the majority, or the ideal of what you can expect from a black man. And it's not just white people doing it. It's we do it to ourselves. I look at a lot of.
Hmm.
I say I look at it. I really don't, but I notice a lot of different programs that, and they kind of put us in a box. As far
Hmm.
as black men, we can only do certain things. So it's interesting how we see ourselves.
Yeah.
Not even how the rest of the world. It's just how we perceive ourselves. So
Mhm. And I want to say that a lot of we perceive ourselves through the lens of other people's eyes. So I want to say, as far as and as a whole, I think we view ourselves as far as how society views us. That's the first thing. I think women view us from different stories amongst themselves. They first society, and then they get around with
other
other
women,
women, and they pass stories, and they view us based on the stories that they've they've heard, the anecdotal experiences, whatever.
right?
I know this woman that
Yeah,
and this happened,
so,
and
yeah, they
yeah,
know some of the
the,
worst stories in the world,
the
but
horror stories. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And the truth be told, that's what people remember is the bad stuff.
Hmm.
There's a lot of good things that probably happened before that, but
Hmm.
it kind of when it's good, you don't really hold
Yeah,
on to
you
it.
don't think
We
about it when
hold
it's
on to
good.
the negative
Yeah,
for some reason.
yeah.
That's the part that we latch on to and then use as our foundation for
Mm-hmm.
however we believe or whatever. So,
And then I want to say, as far as men, I think we view each other through the lens of women's eyes. Like we measure ourselves up to how women see
view
us.
men, okay,
Because I think, first of all, our first female teacher, our first female influence is our mother.
hmm
So we viewed our mother basically saying things about our father, or men in the streets or whatever. And we look at ourselves, and in that aspect, because we're male. And then from a dating perspective, we always hear what women want from men.
yeah,
So we measure ourselves up to what women want from men. Not everybody, ladies, not everybody, because some men don't give a shit.
right.
Just want to, some don't care. But as far as men that do care and they do want,
They're looking for a woman.
relationships,
hmm
they measure themselves up by how women
What women want,
say what they say
what
they
they
want.
say,
Yeah,
yeah,
what they say they want from men.
and uh, it's a mile high. It's
It's a lot of stuff. It's a long list.
right. It's
Uh,
Superman type shit. So it's
okay, I didn't see this. Okay, they are resting in their femininity on social media, complaining about black women and on video games instead of being productive,
damn.
providing, protecting, building, and fixing.
That's a lot of generalizations right there.
So
Did I say that right?
it generalizes black man.
Play
We're
video
resting our
games.
femininity
hmm
on social media, complaining about black women and on video games instead of being productive, providing, protecting, building, and fixing.
I'm I'm interested where are they finding these? I mean, where are they getting these examples from? I guess just their day to day experience.
Well, so no, she says on social media. So what I think happens on social media and what people don't really like understand when they're on social media, um, like the most salacious stuff, the most like triggering stuff, they're gonna latch on to and they're gonna comment on and
Right.
uh
Even though it's one person doing it,
yeah, yeah.
out of
Oh,
you say it's what 40 million black people in the country.
yeah.
One person does something, and then automatically that's
That's
the
the standard.
yeah. All these guys,
Yeah.
play video games.
And even I mean, hey, I play damn video games, so but I do more than just that.
But you also take care of a lot of other shit
Yeah, I
too.
take care of a lot of other shit. So that's the
That's like
thing.
saying I drive a car.
Yeah, they see us in one light and they can't see anything else outside of that scope. And I'm not just saying women do this; men do this about women also. But
people do it in general.
yeah,
I
people
think.
do it in general. But on this topic today is not about the way we looking at women. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how women look at men or how men are viewed in society. And we're going to get to the actual specific topic, but I'm just going over some stuff to kind of build a view or a perception of how women view black men in basically real time. Um, Modern black men want black women to stop wearing wigs, extension hair pieces, braids, weaves, and makeup, even though all races have been doing this for decades. Oh, wow.
Wow.
But we shouldn't while everyone else does. This, generally speaking, as I know some don't. So
I don't
that
understand
had
that.
nothing to do with how they view black men. I
No,
mean,
I don't even understand. Well,
so
okay.
bitter, lost, not good. Uh, when I think of what a modern black man means to me, I see a man who is aware of his options, stylish, motivated, passionate for what is important to him. But that's just me. Okay. Um, Mixed bags of nothing and something. Okay.
Wow.
And somebody said a conundrum. So,
What is it? Who said that?
um, and it's crazy. So the only good thing that's in this group is like 15 people commented, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look who commented the good thing.
Wow. You should show that.
Okay, so it wasn't a sister. I think she's Asian.
Yeah.
I think she's Asian.
She had something positive to say. That's
Um,
interesting. Outside of
yeah, that's the only positive one. And I left the man's comment out because a man did respond, but I didn't want responses from men. Actually, two men responded, so I left that out. But they missed the boat. Yeah, damn. So so basically, so with women view black men. They don't have a good view in general
it doesn't appear that
of
way.
black men. So this topic came from that, and also some a woman asked about black men, all black men gay
She asked
on
that
social
question.
media. It was like a social media thing.
She said, "Are
So
all black men
yeah,
gay?"
yeah, and it was about on social media. Um, so and it was crazy because I see so many like in these little groups, I see so many comments about women saying like gay reference to black men, like basically emasculate, demasculate, whatever the word is. Anyway, to black men, and it's crazy because it's like that's something they praise, right? They tend to
Right.
praise.
They love it. It appears.
Okay. Yeah, and I just want to make sure that
Okay.
I see something because I'm on social media and you're not on social
I'm
media.
not, but I see it.
And,
I just left. I saw it.
okay, so
Well represented.
you were somewhere else
Mm-hmm.
today
In the
and
city.
you witnessed that in
Yeah.
real time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we in line, because we're two black men, and I want to see we come up the same views.
Yeah.
I'm talking strictly online, and what I see around the internet, social media, different platforms, and you saw this in real life. So, let me read what it says. Here we go. So, I'm scrolling through Facebook. So many women asking, "Is all our men gay?" Something's wrong here, fellas. So and then she put, I guess she said, she was saying penises can't be more better than than that WAP. Than that WAP. That's what you're saying.
I
So
agree.
they had different comments, but I was out. This is comment I told her. If they want real masculine men, then they should respect and support those men like they do gay men.
Not just that, but they have to fall into. We talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Opposites attract.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not if they don't have what it takes to attract a masculine man, then they I mean it. I'm not gonna say it's someone's fault, but
Mm-hmm.
they kind of get what they put out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they get back. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I don't know what kind of women these are, but they're getting the results of what the energy that they're giving off, in my opinion.
Masculine traits attract
feminine
feminine
men.
feminine traits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I say men, but like
feminine
feminine
traits.
traits.
Yeah, feminine traits. Just like if we're talking same sex, majority of times you see a masculine female with a feminine female.
Right. Right. You
You know,
don't.
so
You very rarely see like two feminine women
mm,
together
mm,
as a couple.
mm,
I'm sure it's out there,
mm.
maybe,
No, you
but
see it,
most
but
times you see, somebody who's wearing the pants, and then somebody
literally wearing the
right, and then
pants.
somebody who's
But even
not
at
wearing
that,
the
when
pants.
they both look feminine, then if you talk to them, one will be more dominant.
Yeah.
One would be a more dominant, have masculine energy,
Hmm.
so to speak.
Right.
So I think it just works good, like hand in hand, the yin and the yang.
It
You got
does.
masculine with the feminine energy, makes it complete.
Right. And so often it's funny because so often everybody they look outward and say, okay, this is the problem because this guy is feminine or
Mm,
whatever the case may be. But
mm,
it's really what they're attracting. It's them that's
mm,
bringing this energy into them.
mm,
So it's you got to look at yourself. In my opinion, you got
mm.
to see what you're doing to
Okay.
get these results that you got.
So, and I wish I had people comment today so we could get some views. I mean, some kind of things from the viewers. Um, if you believe that, um, why we have so many feminine men, or why women are complaining, not even have so many, because we can't quantify.
We
Uh, uh, honestly, we can't quantify the fact that we have so many feminine men, or it's just anecdotal, or
It's anecdotal, and I think I'm doing a lot of thinking here.
yeah. Okay.
The A lot of the more feminine men are more, what's the word? Uh, they're out there. They're
Mm,
on Front Street, so
mm,
people see that more
mm,
and just assume, okay, that must be the thing. But that's a very small. I still think it's a very small
mm.
percentage of men who are actually homosexual.
I'm not even talking about. Well, we not talking about homosexuals because they don't want women.
Right.
So we're not talking about that. We're
Well,
talking
about
about
just feminine energy.
feminine energy. Yeah.
Right.
Let's say for a word, let's use the word beta males, or males that's not living in their masculine.
Okay.
So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about
Wait, get me
males.
back on track. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of veered
Yeah,
off.
no, we ain't talking about that because the women
It
don't
don't
want.
matter, right?
I
It
mean,
don't matter.
they will champion that, but they don't want. That's not what they want. And
Mhm.
that's the reason for the
But
topic. It's
but
like,
I think it says a lot as to why they feel like they have such a great connection with these
mm,
guys. It's
yeah,
because of the energy that they give off.
mm,
It's masculine energy, and those guys, opposites attract.
mm,
In my world,
mm.
they do.
So so yeah, I agree. Just like we had some guests on, and they said they're not really feminine.
Yeah, and they were honest about it.
Yeah, they're not really feminine, and they meet a certain type of men, or a certain type of man. They want to know why they meet that type of man, and that's what if I can't remember the show, which one it was, but
Right.
one of our previous shows, we talked to some women, and they admitted to that, not being feminine, like they should. Um, and like I said, just because women, and we're talking about black women because we're black men, and we deal with our community. So in our community, I think our women have no problem like celebrating the effeminate black men,
None at all.
whether it be homosexual black men, or transgender, or the ones that they coddle, the
Hmm.
ones that
The
that
the mama's
the
boy.
F boys, the
Okay.
F boys, the ones that don't have those masculine traits.
Right.
But when it comes to the masculine men, the ones that's gonna stand on their their morals, the ones that's gonna not take the stuff that most others take.
They have boundaries.
Yeah, it's usually boundaries.
Right.
Correct. And that's what I don't understand. Women, these women seem like they want a masculine man in their life.
They say that. That's what their mouth says.
That's what they say, but it seems like there's a disdain for a certain type of man.
Absolutely.
But to me, it screams out they want a masculine man in their life. They want something in life, but
are they able to receive it?
Yeah, are they able to receive it and what they're putting out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that saying it? Is that saying that's what they want? Like if you go out and I could go out and I could say, I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat. But I'm out there eating burgers and shit. You see me eating a burger,
right?
Tearing the shit out of.
I don't eat meat. And you up your steak
over at McDonald's. McDonald's had no vegan burgers last time I checked. tearing up burgers and shit.
Right.
And then you would, from that you would draw a conclusion that, well, he said he don't eat meat, but
I'm watching him eat this hamburger from that.
The nigga licking his fingers,
Right.
So based on that, I think there's a divide in what I think men hear women say and what they see them portray, like in media, social media, like and I'm not saying women in your life, like me and my girls, and we're not talking anecdotal. We're talking about en masse how women present themselves when it comes to media, when it comes to social media, the stuff they put out, these memes and everything else, and you get to see women, yeah, girl, this, that, the other, and they start to cheer on, and all the craziness,
all the bullshit,
all the craziness about black men, and why they ain't this, why they ain't that, and to me that puts out a message. It puts out a bigger message.
I agree 100%. It does put out a bigger message. So I guess my thing is, okay, the topic is the fight for black masculinity,
mm-hmm.
and women say they want that.
Mm-hmm.
But do they know how to accommodate a masculine man? Because when you are in your masculine, when you are a masculine man, a lot of times they have complaints about, or not complaints. Maybe complaints is the wrong word, but I think they're so strange to it. It's so new to them or different to them that they think something is wrong with you when you present yourself as such. And they're used to the more feminine traits, and shit. That's kind of what they.
Well, I mean, and I've made this point before, and until somebody else comes along, one of the viewers or somebody comes along and corrects me on this point, I want to say that majority in our culture, in our society, right, in the black culture, black society, in our community, majority of us comes from single parent homes. Majority, large portion,
especially in the last 20 years.
Yeah, single parent homes. So, as far as seeing that black man up close, personal, and everything, you don't know what that looks like. I think you said this about going to the zoo and seeing a lion and not knowing what the lion is and what the lion's supposed to do. If you've never seen a lion in your life and you see it in the cage, you're gonna want to stick your hand in the cage because it's a big ass cat.
Right. You're like, oh, look at the lion.
Until it bites your fucking bite your damn arm off.
It snatches you through the cage.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen?
Because you never seen a lion. So that's what I think a lot of we got going on.
There's no examples out there. No
realistic examples.
Right.
We back in the day we used to have James Evans. We had James Evans.
We had George Jefferson.
A
business owner.
Yeah, we had those role models, right?
On the east side.
Even we had Fred Sanford. Fred Sanford. He was a guy that spoke his mind. Mm-hmm. He talked shit, spoke his mind.
He said exactly how he felt, and Fred was a masculine dude. He
was. He was an old man, but he was still.
Yeah, he was a man.
Yeah, he was a man. And you know what? You saw him interact with his friends and his buddies and everything. You don't see that these days. Like black men interacting with each other on.
That I'm telling you, the media, the little bit that I do see, it's a poor representation of black men. I mean, it's we either needy or gay or I mean, it's just bad. It's nothing good. It's nothing
or we have to have our women to push us to do things.
Right. if we don't have that,
Yeah.
behind us, we
we not gonna be anything.
shiftless and
Yeah.
trifling.
Yeah. just no good.
Right.
No good ass black man.
Right, and that is so far from reality, but that's what society sees, though.
Mhm.
That because that's unless you grow up in a neighborhood of black people,
Mhm.
you don't you don't know how to judge it other than what you see on TV. Uh, my time I spent in the Navy was interesting because I would go to
Mhm.
other countries and they would approach me how they what they would see on TV. Hey, what's up, homeboy?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I was like, what the
We
fuck
don't
is
even
that?
talk like
Right.
that.
But that's
Trying to give you the brother dap and everything.
right, right. But it happened in several different countries. It
Mhm.
wasn't just one country. It was, I mean, but that's all they have to go off of. So
Mhm.
they automatically have an image of what a black man is in all these other countries, and we need to change that and put some masculinity in that thing, man.
And see, and that's the whole thing. Struggling with trying to change the narrative,
Yeah,
for ourselves, for black men, because we are viewed a certain way by everybody else. And then as soon as you open your mouth to try to say no, but it's not true, they're going to tell you what you are,
yeah.
based on what they heard other people say, or based on what they,
What they saw on TV or
yeah.
whatever the case
Mm.
may be. They feel like their anecdotal information is more valid than the life that you've lived. I'm living my life every day as a
Yeah,
black man.
every day I live my life and I interact with
Black
other men. Yeah.
And I mean, I ain't got none but winners in my circle. I'll
Mhm.
be honest with you.
Mhm.
All the men I interact with are men. And they're the complete opposite of what they show on TV.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I don't have any men around me that sleep on their mama couch or sleep on somebody else's couch and don't have their own car.
I've
And
heard stories, but it's like Bigfoot. I hadn't seen it yet, but maybe it exists.
well, I mean, I've heard stories that and I know people that know people, I guess,
Yeah,
that say that, but
but not
yeah,
directly.
yeah,
I don't
not
have that
directly.
direct
Mhm.
contact, man. And even with the societal constructs as far as all the births out of wedlock and all
Mhm.
those things,
Mhm.
even with that, I still, the men that I know are men.
Mhm.
So it's
And I'm glad you said that. So that narrative about men not taking care of children, right? CDC disproved that. So I need y'all women to stop like spreading them lies. Black men are more in their children's lives than white men, and that was
yeah,
done by the CDC. That study was done by the CDC. You could Google it, and you could get your own information about that. But about the Navy thing, right? And for everybody that knows, and I don't think you know. So the reason why, when this podcast started, you expressed that you wanted to do a podcast also, right?
right.
The reason why I chose you is because you've been around majority men,
Hmm.
so you have that aspect. I've worked around majority women, like my whole basically
Your life,
career, my whole career. I've worked around majority women.
okay,
So you coming from that aspect where you worked around majority men,
right.
and I come from the other aspect. So that made for a more broader view
Yeah, we had
of
different experiences
yeah,
that
yeah,
could bring more to it.
yeah. So that's the reason why if anybody's watching, that's the reason why he's here and that, I'm here with this, is that we have separate lives or whatever, but when we come together, when we start talking about stuff, we see the similarities, even though we have
Different backgrounds.
different
Yeah.
backgrounds. Yeah. So yeah, and you were, your father pretty much raised you, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, both your parents
I had
nurse.
both my parents,
Okay,
but
so
like I said, my dad was there
mhm,
the entire time.
okay.
So
And I think I had my dad up till 10, and then the rest of the years it was my mom
just
was
your
there.
mom.
Yeah, just my
Okay.
mom. So
But I mean, but those 10 years I'm sure that had a big
yeah,
impact on
yeah, yeah,
who you
big
became.
actor. Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what? So once again, going back to topic, because we gonna jump around, a little bit. Sorry, it's hard to
No
follow
need to
us.
apologize. It's
We
just
jump around some, but yeah, black women should fight for black masculinity. Um, I've heard men complain about this, that when they open them out, women, she'll tune him out, like she'll put walls up when he's trying to talk. But from the outside looking in, when you see a woman interact with a homosexual man, with a transgender, anybody that's effeminate, it's a whole different vibe, right? You get a whole different
they're engaged.
yeah, they're engaged in what they're saying, right? So my theory, right? If you want to see more black masculinity, black women should be the one to be champion black masculinity, to be standing up for that,
Absolutely.
because society listens to black women more than they listen to black men.
They got all the platforms.
They have all the platform, all the major platforms at least. I think I was watching something on YouTube, and it was Ivana, whatever that woman name, the lady that does Fix My Life. I can't remember. Van Zant. There you go, Van Zant. So I was watching that, looking at something. They was talking to Cynthia Bailey, and they was talking to her sister, and her sister was talking about her husband and that. She's like, you need to stop focusing on him. Like, it's about you. You keep on throwing him whatever. So, and I watched the whole thing. It was very informative. It wasn't like a man-woman thing. She came down to saying that, it's because of basically your interaction with your mother and with your sister, the reason why you are the way you are. And you know how the videos go to the next video? Mm-hmm. The next video came up was Oprah, and it was men cheating or some mess. Like, I'm like, God,
it's got to break it down.
It's what the hell?
You would not be given any leeway.
No,
it's a constant struggle.
Yeah, we got to put you back on your track.
That's real life, man. Especially as far as masculinity, you don't get a day off. You have to stay in your frame. Forever, because as soon as you slip slightly, the infiltration will begin. That's a real thing. It's no break in that, because it's a constant. I mean, just look at society now, and maybe I'm being a bit of a chauvinist, but just look at what's
chauvinist over here.
Right, I'm not on social media, so at this guy here, but I point out to my kids. I said, look who the champions are. Look who they got the equalizer, Queen Latifah. Really, and I have nothing against Queen Latifah. I think she's a great individual.
Yeah,
but that's just a small example. But that's where society is going. These are the champions of the black community. It's our women.
Well, think about this. So way back before black people really started to do TV, right? White women was champion and stuff. Skinny white women was defeating all the odds, right? So what it told the black people that, and it's not a conscious thing, but it's like, okay, you start to think that, okay, this is the one that's going to be winning in life. If anything go down, these white women have the power to whatever.
They Wonder Woman.
Yeah, they got it. White men, white men were your champions, or your stars, and the people that did whatever. And that says something, right? All the heroes at one point was white men. Then you had a white woman here or whatever, you white women. It wasn't no black heroes in mainstream.
No.
So that tells little kids, like, growing up, I wanted to be Superman. I didn't have Black Lightning. I didn't have Black Panther. I didn't have that. So it kind of says something to you that you're not worth as much. If your skin, if you got black skin, you're not worth as much. Same thing I want to say about black women. Now, the fact that because women are sold to more, right?
Oh, because they're bigger consumers.
They're the bigger consumers, exactly. Because they're the biggest consumers, right? They cater to women more. So what it does, it says, okay, women, you're this, women, you're at this higher standards, higher tier, and black men, okay, everything we're gonna do is gonna gear towards women. And what women gonna talk about? Black men, naturally. Right. You can't talk about one without the other. We fit hand in hand, whether you want to or not, right? Because of we are in the same struggle. We started off in this country in the same struggle. We cannot separate we can't separate it. No matter how much you try, right? You can't separate, whether you gay, whatever, you still can't separate black men and women, because it takes a man and a woman to make a child. Don't take a black man and a black woman. But it takes a man and a woman.
Take a black man and a black woman to make a child.
Or if we doing a new age, right? You have a test tube baby, not test tube baby, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? Test tube baby. Shout out to Robin Harris. Rest in peace, brother. But it still takes a sperm and an egg, which you only, unless I didn't get science right. A sperm comes from the man, so
women, I want you to take this the wrong way. The creators of life is who we are.
Mm.
We are the creators of life
Mm.
as men, and you are the carriers of life.
Yeah, and that's the truth. Biology, right, matters. Don't let nobody tell you biology doesn't matter.
Like I said,
It matters.
when you all you have to, I don't care how complex you think an issue is. If you
Mm.
take it back to its basics,
Mm.
it'll give you the answer.
Mm.
And
I
like I
agree.
said, biology
Yeah.
tells you exactly how it's supposed to work.
Well, whether not even don't even have to go to human biology, right? You
Any,
go to the animal
you
kingdom.
go to ants.
Yeah, everything on Earth, right? You go to everything unless it's an amoeba, unless it's something that's separates from itself or something asexual, or something like
What
that, or
is
whatever.
the seahorse that carries the eggs? Or
The
something?
male, don't the
See,
male?
I
Yeah,
don't know if he definitely doesn't carry the
no,
eggs,
the
but
male is,
he carries the child. It's some kind of
and
crazy.
I think the
But
males change or something.
yeah,
If they don't have any females, it'll change. Yeah, I think it's the seahorse, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken.
But
I'll look it up
you're talking
later.
about one species
Yeah,
out of
out of
millions.
millions of species. Yeah,
Millions.
millions. Yeah.
So you're going to point to the one
Mm, yeah.
oxymoron in the thing
You have single organisms. You have
right,
up to the
like with the
most the
complex.
complex DNA. And they all follow the same pattern.
Yeah.
So I think as human beings, right, we're the only creature that wants to go against
Nature.
that nature.
We,
We are.
we're the only creature that has the ability to go against
Mm,
nature. That's what separates us from all other animals
mm,
and or organisms
mm,
in the world is our ability to go against our instinct.
mm,
And sometimes it can be beneficial, but
mm.
I think that's only a temporary thing.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
consistently go
Long
against
term, it's
what's
not.
natural,
Mm,
you destroy,
mm,
like we see what's going on now. You
yeah,
destroy the constructs of society.
yeah. And so yeah, I mean, and I think that's one of them constructs is being destroyed right now. Black masculinity is
Yes,
is
sir.
is paying for um the feminine, the hyper feminine views or hyper feminine models they're putting out on TV
Yeah.
and in social media and everywhere else. Um, I think black masculine is gonna be a hard thing for women to find um moving forward. Now, our generation is what our generation is.
Yeah. I don't think it's hard to find. I think it's hard to accept because when it shows up,
Mm,
is met with such rebellion
mm,
because that's not just not isn't it's not what you it's not what they're told it's supposed to be. That's
mm,
not what they see in society. That's not what they see in media.
mm,
So when it shows up,
mm.
it's some angst there. It's
Okay,
some
so
pushback.
this the thing I want to. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this.
Okay.
So you said if it shows up, do you think like masculinity in itself is a innate trait, or you think it's taught at some point?
I think it's innate. I honestly think it's innate, and then it's the way our society is
Mm.
constructed. It's taken away from them as time goes on. That's my
Okay. All right.
personal
Well, okay.
opinion
Yeah.
on it.
Okay. I can see that from that aspect. Meaning, you start to display it as a child growing up,
Hmm.
and then you're
You're
taught that
disciplined.
you're disciplined on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I can get with that.
yeah.
Well, in this, so there are certain things that I think that, like you said, right. But then there's other things, and I was thinking more of the on the level of how to change tires, how to change brakes, different stuff like that, stuff that you assume or you view as being masculine.
Right, and that's a skill that you have to be taught,
Mm,
but it comes from just the nature of men to fix things.
mm,
To that's put toys in front of any child,
mm,
regardless of the gender, and they'll show you. It's a reason that such a small percentage of women in the
mm,
STEM programs
mm.
because it's just it doesn't intrigue them at
Yeah.
all. It it's biology.
Mm,
It's just that simple. It's who we are
mm,
at our basic DNA level.
mm,
When you talk about men and women,
mm,
it's who we are. Men just naturally geared to one thing, and then
mm.
women geared to something
Yeah.
else.
Well, they've at some point they start veering towards their personal interests.
Right.
Okay.
But like I said, now society tries to get in there early,
Mm,
real early now, and
mm,
break that up and say, nope, it's okay for little boys to wear dresses, or they can play with dolls or
mm.
whatever. Why does it have to be? In reality, a GI Joe man is the same as a doll, but
Yeah. Just don't have the hair to come.
right, but why you
The
have to call it a
clothes. Yeah.
doll?
Yeah.
They want to combine that,
Mm,
and it's just it's a natural thing that we could, whenever you go against nature, you go run into a problem, and
Mm,
that's for me, that's what we're seeing today.
mm,
Just a fight against logic.
mm. So, like you saying and going against, right? I also want to say that I think by there being so little men in so few men in the household, right? There's majority, well, not few. Let's not say that, because there's majority men that are not raising their children. They're not in the household with their children every day. Um, what usually happens in boys is that they start to like pull away from the mother a little bit and start to want to see what dad's doing. They start to want to
Absolutely.
follow behind the dad and emulate
They don't.
dad's movements.
It's innate. It's
Mm,
instilled in you.
yeah.
It's who you are. Like I said, at your bottom level,
Mm,
you can't change that,
mm,
regardless of what your mother instilled in you in all that time.
mm,
As a XY chromosome,
mm,
you're gonna follow a male path for the
mm,
most part until it's taken away from you.
mm, mm,
Or I guess today's society is kind of talked out of you.
mm.
Oh, you shouldn't. Men don't. Have you ever heard of toxic femininity?
Funny you said that. I was just watching a video, and that's gonna be one of our topics later on, maybe. Um, like comparing the two, toxic masculinity and toxic femininity.
Mhm.
But yes, I have,
See, I
and
never heard that before.
and so there's a same reason you don't hear about misandry, right?
Right.
The same reason you don't know that
Exactly.
people don't know that word. I keep on saying it so people can look that word up and understand there is a term that's opposite of misogyny, and it's called misandry. So the same reason why, because they want women to buy stuff.
Mhm.
Shows, okay, so I'm gonna break it down once again. It's education. So just like last week, well, week before last, I broke down how algorithms work, right? So this is how shows do programming. Shows are not ran by they don't generate money because you're watching the shows. They generate money because you have companies that put time slots that pay a lot of money because they know a lot of women watch it, and they want to sell stuff to women. So they're gonna put stuff on there that gears to a woman's interest. So because women spend more money than men in general, like I mean, we're not saying I might spend more money on
On a car.
on equipment, all this
Yeah.
equipment and shit. I
Right.
spend money on equipment and technology stuff, right? But if there's a men channel that has cars or something, yeah, they're gonna put that on there. But for most part, women spend way more money than men. They want to sell you the cure, weight loss. They want to sell you beauty. They want to sell you how to stay young. Stuff that women think of. This is what they think about and they subscribe to. Um, it started back in the '60s with Cosmopolitan. You've heard about that, right?
Mhm.
In the '60s with Cosmopolitan, when they put out the magazine, they saw how many women were just eating it up, and they saw that they could sell ads to women about makeup and stuff, and how well that was doing, how they could charge these companies
Right.
to run these ads, and it was like, oh shit, we got the formula, like, and it just grew from there because they found out that basically, it's like extorting somebody,
It it's extortion.
yeah,
Well, it's a lot of things. You can
yeah,
if I and I'm glad you brought that
mm,
up because I tried to I hope I did a good job trying to explain to my kids
mm,
how TV works.
yeah,
I said it's the reason you pay for cable,
mm,
and it's the reason that you don't have to pay for live broadcast,
mm,
over the air
yeah,
TV and your basic stations because like you said, it's ad space that's being sold.
mm,
And they have to figure out, okay, they don't care what you watch on TV.
mm,
They want to be able to sell you those things in between the TV watching. So
mm,
if they know women are large consumers, then a lot of programming is going to be geared towards women so they can watch that program
mm,
for that commercial to come on so they can
mm,
sell them whatever the case may
mm,
be. It's it's all about money.
mm.
But we take it, I say we, a lot of people in society take it as personal and think, oh, they really want me to be, and
Yeah,
that's not the
yeah,
case.
yeah,
It's about separating you
yeah,
from your pocketbook or
yeah.
your wallet, or, whether you're man or woman. But it's interesting, and I think a lot of adults don't even understand how the whole radio is done the same way. Radio
Mm-hmm.
and TV, both of them are done the exact same way. Eh, I'm not gonna go into it. Okay, but yeah.
Yeah, but I remember having that conversation when they started like having black people in commercial a lot. Way like back, it was like late 80s, 90s, or something like that, when they started really putting black people in commercials and stuff. I had that conversation with somebody. I don't remember where I was at, but it was like, they finally they starting to accept black people. And I'm like, no, that's not what they're doing. What you mean? They putting us in this, they putting us that. We starting to be in movie. That's not what they're doing. They don't accept black people, accept your black money.
There you go. They're
And
trying to separate you from your wallet, from your
and
bank account.
that's why, like, when they did, I'm like, okay, all of a sudden now you care about black people all of a sudden.
Right. They realize, oh, this is another income. This is another stream of revenue right here.
Not even another stream. The majority of money that's spent in this country comes from black people.
Wow.
The majority of money. So that's the power we have in this country, right? It was built on our backs, and we got the money that way. And now we're being sold everything under the sun because, hey, you're still using us as batteries for this country.
We still could.
Yeah, damn. I mean, the Matrix.
He broke it down. They're using us as batteries.
As batteries to run the country
for the economy.
Yeah. So that's kind of off topic, but it's still kind of
said.
Yeah, it's still kind of going with it.
It's important because I don't think a lot of people realize. I tell everybody, if you follow the money, you can kind of
map it out
why things are the way they are. Like TV is the prime example. It shows you exactly what they're. But if you can look through it, it shows you what they're doing. Because I hear, and it's no, I'm going off subject again. Let's carry on to black masculinity.
Yeah, no, go ahead, brother. Because we can. Yeah.
No. I don't want to get too because this is. I'm not gonna say it's completely different, but it's just how TV is selling like a dream to and I don't want to just point at women because I think men get caught up in it too.
No, we do.
I hear women talk about like a particular program and they talk about that shit as though it is
it's real life.
Real.
Reality TV is a perfect example.
And I'm thinking, okay, that's a script. Somebody wrote that. It's those are actors. They're being paid to say these things.
And reality TV.
But
though,
if you catch them talking about it, you would think it was something that happened up the street. It's
a lot of women don't even know that, right? Because the regular TV, and because the reason I'm saying this because I don't know a lot of men watching reality TV, right? Okay. Last reality TV I watched like that was Flavor of Love because it was just so crazy to me.
I'll be honest,
and man. I like Flavor Flav, so.
Yeah, I like Flavor Flav. I'll be honest, I would the Real Housewives of Atlanta would be on my home every did it come on Saturday or Sunday? I think it was Sundays. I think it came on, and I found myself like, oh shit, I was, but it stopped there, because I could see right through it. I'm like, nobody on here is a wife, but it was entertainment for that 30 minutes, or I'm not sure how long it was on, but it was entertainment for me. But once it went off, that was the end of it, Whereas a lot of people, and I'm not going to even put this on women, just a lot of people in general were living through that. Oh, did you, and they talk about that shit as though that's part of their life.
But wow. And that's part of the program, right? Because reality TV, right? They use the word reality. So the reality is, if people don't like each other, they're not going to hang together. That's the first thing that stuck out to me from even watching talking to somebody talking about it. I'm like, okay, why are they doing this now? Right. Because if people don't like each other, they would not be in the same. They wouldn't move in the same circles, right? When one go out the room, one come in the room, the other one be like, "Nah, I can't even deal with this," and go out the room. Right. So that's the problem I have. They peg it as being reality TV, and you have people that just look at it like, "Oh, shit, this the way it's supposed to go down," and and I'm not talking about grown. You have grown women that majority of grown women, I think, don't subscribe to this as being real. Excuse me. But then you have the ones coming along that are not more educated, right?
I won't even say they're not educated.
Well, I'm saying the ones that tends to stick with the most. Easily influenced. Yeah, but I'm saying, you got a certain group, easily influenced, not as well educated as some, because if you educate, you kind of have you've been taught to think a certain way. You can see through some stuff. Then the ones that are younger that haven't viewed, they haven't lived long enough to even understand, the concept of what society, what TV is doing, what entertainment is doing to them. They don't understand this. They just go off, this is what I saw such do, and I'm gonna do it too, because this is how women's supposed to act, right? Yeah. and they have men tied into this story doing some less than masculine stuff sometime. Um, that I've heard about. Like men don't sit there and argue, bicker back and forth. That's not what men do. That's not a masculine trait. If men start to argue, something's about to happen. Somebody about to turn some tables over, and it's But you got the
That's
women being masculine on these shows.
and I think that's the we I, I go back to my basis. That's the natural instinct of men. Like you said, if a man feel like he's in a confrontation,
Mm.
like you said, then something's getting ready to go down. And
Mhm.
that I think that's one thing that men have. We respect other men because we know it's a real threat of
Yeah,
violence
real threat of violence.
if
Anytime you
if
interact
if
with another
if
man.
if if, if,
Mm.
if, if something go off the
Yeah.
rails. So as a man, you kind of respect that, and you move
Mm.
because you know that's a real thing that can happen. Whereas with women, they feel like because society has provided these walls of protection that they
Mm.
can just do whatever
Hmm.
and don't have to worry about no threat of violence.
Well, the reason why, because society, the justice system backs them. So
It
if
does,
anything happens, what's
but
going to happen?
I expressed to my
Mm.
daughter,
Mm.
I said, you do not
Mm.
approach a man
Yeah,
in that
no,
way because I don't care if the police are called. That don't stop you from getting
yeah,
your ass
yeah,
whipped
no,
for that
no,
5
I
or
agree.
10 or
Mm.
15 or 20 minutes before they get
Mm.
there. Never,
Mm.
you don't incite that kind of
Yeah.
thing. But I don't think that's being taught to a lot of women because women have no problem getting in a man's face
Yeah.
or in another woman's face.
Well, that's because the assumption that
Nothing's gonna
yes,
happen.
nothing's gonna happen because the law is
The law's on
the
my
law's on
side.
my side. So that's because that. Now, when a man actually lays his hands on, then
And
you
it's
see,
like, I can't believe you.
yeah, exactly. You see all that leave from their body, like, oh, I don't believe you hit me. Oh, you was just laying hands on me,
Right,
So, not
right.
saying it's right. Okay, ladies, we're not defending
We got off topic a little bit.
abuse or violence against women. What we're trying to say is that
You have to respect
the
that.
masculine behavior that's asserted to men, from women to men, can be, can cause some serious
You have to
reactions.
respect the
Yeah,
fact that that can happen.
yeah.
If you go in a situation thinking that oh, I'm safe,
Mhm.
you can't do that. You have to respect the man for his ability,
Mhm.
what he can do as a man.
Mhm.
And it's just that damn simple. But a lot of women do not, and it's interesting, and you can see it.
Mhm.
But
And yet another reason to fight for black masculinity, right? If you
absolutely.
say you want to be protected, right? Let's throw the provided out because that's something that always goes hand in hand, right?
Mhm.
But this day, we got inflation. It's not the same like back in the day. The setup ain't the same. We don't have the same. Like I can't go buy a house for $30,000, $40,000 anymore. Like back in the day, you could get you a nice house for that much money. You getting a shack right now, so
You're not getting a shack.
yeah, you get in a garage.
You might get a parcel of land.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It
Yeah,
won't
that's
be
true.
nothing
Yeah,
on.
you get
Won't be
land. Yeah,
nothing
you're
on
right.
it.
Nothing on it. Yeah, you be having a tent out on some
Right.
land. But so the thing is, let's throw out providing because it takes two to do things now. But let's talk about protection, right? Which we hear women say all the time, like black women are unprotected.
Right.
So the way it used to go, that you get a certain age, you find your husband,
Hmm.
that was your protection.
Yeah.
That was your
Right. Right.
protection.
He provided that covenant for
Yeah.
you.
So, and once again, back to the topic: black women should fight for black masculinity. It's because if there is if there isn't any black masculine, like I said, right now we have what we have. Right, I'm grown, he's grown. Any women, you 40 and over, you're grown. You don't have to worry about that. What you got, you got. We're talking about the next generation down, right? You need to fight for black masculinity from the rest of the generations going forward, because if you have daughters, like who are they going to have
Who
protect them?
who are they gonna be? Who's gonna first of all create the babies that
Hmm.
we have to have if we
Yeah,
want to keep our society going? And
yeah.
like you said, then who's gonna protect them? Who's gonna where does their covenant come into place? Where's their because if you try to look outside of yourself or for your protection, then you're in trouble.
Hmm.
When you think if you think government's
Or
going to do it
another race,
or
or yeah.
another race or society is not
Mhm.
going to protect you.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. When I get in these discussions, I see stuff on social media like these women were saying, right? They don't understand black masculinity. I think a lot of women that are older, right? They've seen their mother go through stuff. They've seen, other women,
Hmm.
and they internalize that to where they said, okay,
It's
masculinity is bad.
it's their thing, right? It's their struggle, and I'm like, that was
Mm,
one example.
mm,
You don't have to, take that on as
mm,
your who you are,
mm,
but like you said, that's the
mm,
example that they see,
mm,
and unfortunately, it has that outcome. Like
mm.
you say, masculinity is
Yeah,
bad.
that's the whole message that's being pushed is masculine is bad. But um, one of my friends, Dr. Toy, she wasn't on. She's going to be on. I think it's next month after next to talk about male depression.
Okay,
So I'm gonna have on. She works with the prison system up in
well, she's well versed in that shit. That if she in the
it's up
prison,
north. I can't remember. I don't know
and
if
as
it's
far as states or in Georgia,
no, it's not Georgia. It's
uh,
it's
northern of the United States.
Wisconsin. I think it's Wisconsin. If I'm not
Okay,
mistaken. We'll find out when she comes on. But yeah, she deals with men in the prison system,
hmm,
and she posted something today about masculinity. She said she's gonna stop using the word toxic masculinity,
that's bullshit.
and I'm gonna tell you why. Hold on a sec.
I said it. It's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Bullshit.
It's bullshit. Okay.
I ain't just add toxic to masculinity. That's like saying
Okay.
toxic.
So this is what she said. She said I'm going to change my language to toxic male instead of using toxic masculinity.
Absolutely, it's an individual thing.
Yeah, masculinity isn't toxic. The absence of masculinity is.
Yeah.
Weak men are abusive and spiteful. Strong masculine men are protective and loving.
Say that again.
Okay, I'm gonna say
Say
it
that
again. I'm
again.
gonna look in the camera. I'm gonna get close. Okay,
Get close to the camera and tell her what. That, hey, I can listen.
masculinity isn't toxic. The absence of it is. Weak men are abusive and spiteful. Strong masculine men are protective and loving.
Weak men are abusive and spiteful. That's. She said a mouthful right
And
there.
that's what I want women to fight for. I want women to fight for masculinity, black masculinity, not just because he's a male and he has a private part. He has a part of a man.
Hmm.
No, you're fighting for the masculine trait that you want. A man that's going to protect you. The man that's going to love you, and it's going to stand up. When you it's going to have your back. That's what masculinity does. He when he loves something, he protects it.
Right.
He cares for it. It's just like let's say women, like women do with their children,
That,
right? A
that's a
man will
great
do that
example.
for his woman, his wife, whatever. He will do that for his woman, and then in turn, the woman will do that for her child. That's the natural order of a relationship. But if you're just going out there picking men or women not supposed to do the picking, so I'm saying picking for because that's
Yeah.
what usually I see happen. But if you're going out there and you're allowing men that you don't know if he looks good, but he doesn't have any masculine traits. He hasn't shown you anything masculine. Um, but you have to do better homework, I think.
Yeah, and I think a
Yeah.
lot of times masculinity gets confused with aggression,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what the
The
doctor,
thug.
yeah, the thug, the
Yeah.
doctor said, it speaks volumes because a a weak man, that's all he knows is to abuse,
Yeah.
or to that he
Well,
doesn't.
he's asserting his dominance, basically.
Absolutely, because he
Yeah.
don't know what else to do.
Mm.
Whereas a masculine man understands that everything doesn't require you know
Force, brute force.
brute
Yeah.
force at
Mm.
all. I like that, man. I
Mm.
don't have to. She that's her quote.
Well, no, she seen that somewhere, and she
Oh,
was
she
just
saw it
saying that
somewhere.
she's going to
Okay.
stop because she saw the quote and she thought about it. I
Oh
guess
yeah,
she
that's
said
that's
she's
real
going to
right there.
change her language
That
from
is.
stop saying toxic masculinity because I guess she tells people that in her practice,
Hmm.
but she says she's going to start saying it's a toxic male
That's right.
versus toxic masculinity because true masculinity is not toxic.
Right. And it's not looking to harm. It's
Yeah.
looking to
Mm.
protect.
Mm. Yeah.
Wow. It's crazy how we confuse these words, and
Mm.
because somebody's being aggressive or being like you say, a dominant male,
Mm.
we associate that with being masculine,
Yeah.
but that's far from reality. Exactly what masculinity is.
Mm.
Wow, I like that.
That's and I think part of this show, part of what I want men to do is start to create their own narratives.
Absolutely.
Create your own narratives. But what I want black women to do, why I say you should fight for black masculinity, is that you should support these men that are putting this message across or living it. Like most men, I'm going to tell you, most men do not consider themselves to be alphas, whatever. Most men are just living, trying to make it. Um, they know what they do every day in and day out. They know what they stand for and whatever, and they don't budge on that. Um, if you see a man doing it and it's positive, hey, support
Support it.
that, support that. That's what I'm saying. You should fight it. You should fight for it. I'm sorry. You should support it. You should support that type of behavior. If you don't, negative reinforcement, right? If you don't, the man, I was watching another video, right? It was this guy, it was a TED talk, and he was saying about talking about toxic masculinity. And he was saying that he was when he grew up, he thinks all boys grow up with good hearts.
Oh yeah.
They grow up with good hearts, but at some point society changes them, to what they become as a man. And he was talking about specifically black men, and unique we have unique things going on in the black community that other men don't have to deal with.
Okay.
So he was saying the fact that based on how society views us, based on the interaction with the police, several things that go on that men start to compartmentalize those things. And he said one of the things is like how when you like a woman, and this is during like when you first start liking females, right? When you first start liking a young lady, and you give her attention, and she wants to give attention to the bad boy over there.
That's
She
right.
wants to give attention to that. So what ends up happening is that
It becomes a bad
he starts becoming a bad boy because he wants that attention, right? It sends that message to him. He wants that attention. You rarely see the good guy in his books ever get attention from the females. I'm talking about, yeah, we have certain movies. We got movies that show some bullshit like that, but in life, you won't see that. You rarely see that in life.
It's crazy how it works because what happens is, okay, like in high school,
Mhm.
you're trying to figure out who you are,
Mhm.
and so like I said, the good guy doesn't get any attention.
Mhm.
The bad guy gets all the attention
Mhm.
or whatever. So the good guy goes on, becomes a great man,
Mhm.
and then he finds him a wife, and he's off the market. He's not
Mhm.
even in the picture, and all you got left is the quote unquote bad guys
Yeah,
or whatever.
other guys.
And that's who's left. So it's because you shunned the good guy in the beginning, you never had an opportunity to even get to him because, like I said, he went off, became a great
Mhm.
man, and then he found him a wife and moved on.
Mhm.
And you got that same little, I guess you can call it a group of the pretty girls and the bad guys
Mhm.
still out here in their 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s doing the
Doing the
exact
same
same
thing,
thing.
yeah. Doing the same thing,
It never
chasing after
changed.
each other.
Right,
Yeah.
chasing after each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
And then I think that's where a lot of the complaints come from.
Mhm.
It's because this is if you want to catch different fish, you got to use
Yeah,
different
you're
bait.
used to the bait. Exactly. That's a
Yeah,
great analogy.
yeah,
You want to do something different. You can't keep complaining about
and doing the same shit.
I'm using this kind of small little worm and I'm only getting grouper or something like that.
I always
I'm
look at always look at yourself. Stop
mm,
looking outwardly. Look
yeah,
inwardly.
yeah. Look at yourself first. I mean, you can look
Fix.
outward
You
afterwards, but
can, but I and this is just my opinion. If you fix you,
Mhm.
get yourself when I say fix, I don't mean what society say you should be, but
Mm,
just who you are as a human being. You
mm,
fix you,
mm,
you get. I think you'll get the results that you're looking
mm,
for in most cases,
mm.
man.
Yeah.
And that's anecdotal.
And on a personal note, I can attest for that. I can attest for the fact that I've went through that stage. Like I was saying, the man said, like I was used to see guys with certain girls. They're like, oh man, she hot, and
Right, I
and
gotta
they,
do what they do.
yeah, exactly. Look over me and whatever. And then when I became a certain type of person, then it was like, okay, damn. Now you got women looking at you like, oh shit, like you a catch. I'm like, okay, but I'm still the same person,
Hadn't changed, yeah.
but you saw a different person outside because once I got outside in the world, this is what I show.
Hmm.
And then I started seeing attention. So I was like, okay, so this is the game that is relationships that people subscribe to, and you just got to play along with it at some point.
Yeah. You can say I ain't playing this
You
shit.
could. I mean, it depends. And you know what? You control that.
You do,
You
right?
you control that. You can't control how people view you, how people whatever, but you can control your outcomes. And that's what I think as far as with fighting for black masculinity. If you as a woman would fight for black masculinity, stop seeing men in a certain light, right? And whenever somebody asks you to talk to you about black men and you have positive things to say about black men, guess what's going to happen?
Right.
A positive black man is going to look at you and be like, oh,
Right.
damn,
It's just gonna be
damn,
it's the basic laws of
yeah,
attraction.
yeah,
You know. But
yeah.
it's shit. Hell yeah.
Damn, look like you went somewhere with like
You know, I just
you didn't reminisce on
no,
something.
it's just a real thing for me
Yeah, yeah.
because and maybe I'm being too I'm looking too deep into it,
Mm,
but I think I see it like in everything. Um, Coming to America too.
mm.
For me, I saw it in that movie, and maybe I'm reaching too far.
Okay, I gotta watch it. I didn't see it
Yeah,
yet,
I don't
but
want to. Yeah,
no, no, go ahead,
I
go
don't
ahead.
want
I'm
to
gonna
spoil it
watch
for
it anyway,
anybody.
but go ahead.
But no, it's just I see society like pressuring us to feel a certain way or
Mm,
to think a certain way, and I'm
mm,
like, why is that? You know,
mm,
but I see it in everything. But I, that quote said it.
mm,
Stated it all. Masculinity is going to provide you what you're really looking for. It's
mm,
going to provide you the protection. It's masculinity is not about hurting. It's
mm,
not about
mm,
uh, dominance, far
mm,
as intimidation and
mm.
things like that. It's about protection. It's about man. It's about the nature of men. Simple as that.
No, and I can go real deep and talk about what you said, how why we see it in different societies, right? Why we in our society, I'm sorry, why we see it in our society.
Mhm.
So the deep answer is that what happened was that when they pulled us away from the families away, the black families, when they pulled it away, right, it was for one reason, so they could control.
The woman.
Okay, let me go back to the beginning, right? Let me go back to when they figured out what kind of control or how they can enforce their control. So what happened was the baby boomers, and this is gonna get deep because what happened was back when the baby boomers, you had 1 million children being born, and they figured what kind of money they could make off these million children. It's like, oh, we just follow children. When children get a certain age, we follow that, we follow that, follow that. That's why you see all these AARP commercials, all these other what you call commercials, right?
That's what I'm talking about when I talk about how it's kind of like everything is about money.
Yeah, it's about money.
Yeah,
Yes.
but go
Yeah.
ahead. I didn't.
Yeah. So based on that platform, right? They took their money, the powers that be, the rich white people,
Whatever you want to
whatever you want to call it, the man, whatever you want to call it, the powers that
call
be, put their money in there and they saw it move. Okay, so with that happened, then they saw, okay, well, we can't make any more money because we're following the trend. We can't make any more money. So what happened was that how can we make more money? So they start looking at the black community. It was like, okay, the black community, Black Wall Street, they over there making money. How are they generating money? And they were booming. So it was like, okay, what they did, okay, they had things that were specific to them, what they cared about. So what they realized is a black family is controlled by majority by the black man.
any family. But yeah,
You can't, well, yeah, any family, but I'm saying
we
the
talking
black
about
family.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't. So the black man's masculinity, a black man in black masculinity, he cares about his family doing well, the future, the longevity of his family. That's going to be his major focus. So you cannot get a black man that's about that to worry about spending money now, to worry about having what
It's
you call it,
not spending
uh
frivolous.
yeah, uh not having delayed gratification, right?
Right.
That's something that anybody that's is about money that know about money, they said delayed gratification save you money on the long run. So the thing is that how can we get tap into this black family? We have to split that black family apart, right? We already know we can sell to the woman. It was selling to white women, cosmopolitan and all that stuff, right? But we don't know how to deal with the black women because 80% marriage rate back in the 60s,
Right.
80% marriage rate. We can't tap into all that
You
money.
couldn't get into the black
You
household.
couldn't get into it.
You couldn't get into that because it'll take my mother to tell this story how her dad ran their house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she said, we weren't rich, but we ate every day. We did this, we did
Mm-hmm.
that. But he didn't allow those outside influences to
Mm-hmm.
come in there and break up that
Yeah.
financial structure.
What worked. You figured out what worked and you kept doing what worked.
Right.
So what it did when you break up the black family, it bred insecurities, both in the woman and the man. So you bred insecurities. So now we can sell a woman one thing. We can sell her one thing, beauty supply, all this other stuff to try to get a man. And then we can sell a man something to make him feel like he's more masculine. And what they did, they sold him cars and stuff. Cadillac. Remember Cadillac was big back in the day. You wasn't a man unless you had a Cadillac, that Eldorado, that then Coupe de Ville. You wasn't a man unless you had that. They started selling men images of this to try to get women. You had to be driving certain things. You had to be wearing certain things. You have to, and they still do it today. Same thing.
Absolutely.
So that is what they do. And now what they do is try to keep us apart, because if we get together, they can't, they started losing a foothold of how much money they could get from us.
Once you have a man,
Mhm.
a black man in a household, then that revenue is cut off.
Yeah, it's gonna dry. You can't totally cut it off, but it's not gonna
It's
be.
not gonna be totally cut off. But a man is gonna, as far as finances go, he's gonna put a lot of that stuff in check. It's not gonna just be going out there frivolously on bullshit.
Yeah, you can't sell the answer. You can't sell the answer because the problem goes away. Right. If there's no problem, okay. If I tell you, okay, let me tell you this. Black men have been saying this for years. Black women, we don't care if y'all wear makeup. We don't like, majority of us do not like women wearing makeup. You cannot tell a black woman that, right? You can't tell her. She will fight you tooth and nail about that.
Well, that's who get all the attention.
Yeah. But if you have a black man that tells you that and you stop doing it, you get with a black man, he says he doesn't want you to wear that, you stop becoming a revenue source for the people, right? That's what happens. So if majority of women stop doing that, they stop becoming a revenue source, then now we have to figure out what to do next.
That revenue is strong. I told you, I went wherever.
A couple $1 billion industry.
Everybody had they makeup on. Everybody, and I was like, wow. Wow. And it's sad because it's like it's not needed. It's not necessary. That's time, that's money, whatever it takes to get it applied and all that. That's really is could be focused to something else that for a greater good, I guess you can say.
No, and once again, I know it's women's Women's Month, and yes, Women's Month. This is not a bad session, but I want to say this, like what you said, I see your pictures on social media, and some of these women be looking dead. I'm like man, because when the flash hit their face, it just corpse eye, corpse eye, whatever it is. But I'm just saying, and this is way off topic, but I just want to say that listen to, I mean, if you want a man, listen to what man has to say. That's exactly, that goes with it.
The people who telling you to put this makeup on, and my daughter showed me the BBL surgeries.
Oh yeah,
these are not men telling you this stuff.
No.
Well,
I mean, so what they say is that these women get attention from men. Yeah, they get likes, they get all that stuff. Yeah, men gonna want to screw them. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
So what? What is that gonna get you?
But that's not who he's trying to build his family on.
No, not on your butt. You don't build a family on your butt.
He's not trying to build his legacy because got,
look at your grandma. Your grandma had a fat ass back in the day, right. Grandson. No, that's not what's happening.
Got all that makeup on. That's not what he's looking at. Of course they get attention. I mean, we're visual creatures, but I promise you, that's not his goal when he sees all that makeup or that fat ass, like you said. It's this is who I'm gonna build my legacy with. That's not what he's thinking. He's like, I'm not, I ain't gonna say he's gonna try to plant his seed. He just, he want to get into the action that gets.
He want to plant his flag on top of Mount Rushmore.
Right. That's all that is. He trying to keep that seed, away from you. He trying to save that. But that's real. That's a real thing, man. I wish more women, especially my ass. I wish black women would embrace their natural beauty because it's there. Yeah. You don't need all that stuff, man.
Yeah, no. And for the women, but what if her skin? Okay, yes, they have some women with bad skin. Okay.
But that makeup is not.
But that's not everybody. That's not. Yeah, man. It's not.
It's not fixing it.
It's not fixing it.
Address it. Go to a dermatologist. I guarantee you, if you have bad skin, you go to a dermatologist. They don't say, "Go out there and get you some Maybelline foundation and cover that."
Get you that damn thick foundation, powder on.
Cover that shit up, and then you don't have to worry about looking at it no more. No, they gonna try.
They're gonna treat the issue.
If you got a good one, they're gonna try to figure out the root cause of your acne or whatever the case may be, and then fix it from there. And most of it is probably diet.
Oh yeah. Preservatives and stuff.
Most of it is probably what you're putting into your mouth. So if you can correct that, then you can fix a lot of that shit.
And I totally agree. But once again, we got off topic. But back to black women. Black men, I've heard black men express this. They want to be with their black women. Absolutely. They want to be with their black women. If you look at the statistics, I think it's 80-something percent, 78% of black men marry black women. The majority.
I think it's higher than that, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the majority.
It's the majority. The strong majority of black men want to be with their black women.
And I think that the ones who don't, it's not out of they don't like black women.
Mhm.
It's just what they had to choose
Maybe
from, or
close proximity. It could be a
what they were
number of
dealing with
reasons. Yeah.
wasn't what they were looking for. So they found something that was appealing to them.
Mhm.
But I think is I think in nature you just naturally, how often you see a lion, try to mate with a damn tiger.
Mhm.
It doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't work. You naturally go after what looks like
Mhm.
you.
Yeah. Majority of the time, men are racially
Loyal.
loyal. Yeah, racially loyal. Yeah. So that's ending this, ladies. I just ask one thing that hey, let's not get off track, especially in our black community. Um, if you want something, that's something you want. You have to be mindful to fight for that. When you see it, you have to be mindful to speak up. When you see somebody attacking it, um, do like the mother eagle or whatever. Be like actually a lioness. Be like a lioness. She's gonna fight for her lion. She's gonna fight for the king. If you want a king, you have to fight also. You have to fight for the black masculinity. Otherwise, you're gonna have something that's subpar, and you're gonna be
and,
sitting there talking like everybody
and you
else.
have to be king worthy.
Mhm.
Let's say that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 And that falls back on a man. I'm not saying every man.
Well, when I say king worthy, I'm talking about the female standard. I mean, you have to fix yourself.
Yeah.
You have to
Mm.
be available. People want certain things, but don't qualify for those things.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So make sure you are the best example of yourself,
Mm,
and that, and find out what that is. And it's not about
mm,
your accomplishments and all that thing when it
mm,
comes to getting your quote unquote king or
mm,
your husband. It's
mm.
it's it's other stuff that has nothing to do with your worldly accomplishments.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, your outlook. Like I said, all those people that the black women that had a negative thing to say about black men.
That was amazing.
Just change when you speak in public, right? Change what you say about black men. Like change the narrative in your circles. If you speak positive about black men, speak up for black men. You, I guarantee, if other men hear you say this, you will get a different outlook, right? You will get a
That's right.
different result from if you're trying to date a black man, if whatever, you're gonna get a different result because he's gonna look at you like you're not one of the other ones.
Right.
He's
Right.
gonna distinguish you from the other women that
Right.
hear all this rhetoric
Right.
from.
And then you'll be surprised what you see from him. You'll see, a real man.
Mhm. And I'm not asking you to change and treat him. I didn't even say act a certain way to him. I'm just
Mhm.
saying change how you talk about black men,
Right.
around black
What
men,
your
around
perception of
yeah, your
mhm.
perception around women in the vicinity of black men, and see what kind of interaction you will get from these black men. They're going to start to respect you more
Right.
because you show black men respect when you speak of them.
Right.
You know?
That's a nice cup, man. I'm
Yeah.
gonna start bringing my
Oh, you're
cup.
gonna see that? Yeah.
I'm gonna start bringing my cup.
Oh,
Let me see what it say up there. I'm gonna start bringing my cup so we can be cup twins.
We're gonna do a little cup twins activating. We're gonna
A little
anyway.
cheers.
But yeah, that's all I got on the top, brother.
Hey, man, that was a good topic, and we need to revisit it in the future
Mhm.
because it's an attack on black masculinity. Well,
There's
masculinity
a
period,
black
but
family also.
yeah. So we got to keep that in the people's ear
Mhm.
because it's a real thing.
So yeah, so I guess I got a topic for next week.
What you got?
So ladies, if you want to hear about this, you might know after the day, you might not want to. Black men, the most valuable commodity.
Oh,
We're gonna talk about that next week.
we're gonna have some other black men on here. Or what you want to do?
Yeah, I might do that. Yeah,
Okay.
I might do that. I might have some other because we never had a panel of black men yet. Well, we
We
had the
have.
first time, but
You saw
yeah.
how that went.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway,
I thought that was a great show.
it was no. I mean, my sister even agreed that was a great show because what it did, it got us to talking about certain things
Right.
that don't get talked about.
Right.
Yeah, she got triggered. She admits she got triggered. Other women got triggered, but then it opened up a dialogue from that
Right.
and built on it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at it,
I thought it was a
because
great show.
yeah, we've been talking about stuff that actually matters,
Right.
So
And it was real. It wasn't a script.
yeah, it
It
wasn't
wasn't
scripted.
created.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
this is what happens
mm,
happening
mm,
day to day, minute to minute,
yeah.
in people's lives. So
So
absolutely.
black men, the most valuable commodity is next week, ladies. tune in, black men that's just watching this. Hey, tune in. We could talk about it. If you want to be on the show, black men, we're gonna do that next week. We're gonna have some live guests. I'm gonna try to reach out to some people and see if they want to come on and we could chop it up about black men.
Some great commodities.
Yeah, let's talk about some commodities of black men, the black men in this society. We're talking about men, not F boys, not black males. We're talking about black men, ladies, just to be specific. So we not saying black women ain't shit. We ain't saying that. We're not saying you're not commodities. What we're saying is black men is the most valuable commodity. We're going to expound on it next week.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
All right. Good show.
Oh, that's it? You know nothing?
That's it, man.
Okay. All right. Well, see y'all next week.
Good outro. Let's see you.